This is going to be a response video to the controversial interview that Max Keiser did on Kitco. I guess in the last couple days it's come out on YouTube. It's gotten over 70,000 views. A lot of my listeners to this channel are sending me stuff on social media in the comment section. And this video is going to be about why China cannot have a government gold-backed cryptocurrency. I think I had the title screwed up there. Why China can't have a government gold-backed cryptocurrency. There's a number of reasons why. First and foremost, and most people who claim to know about China will not talk about this, rule number one is it is illegal to take gold bullion, which is gold coins and gold bars, out of mainland China. Ask the politician in the last 6 weeks in the province of China who was caught with over $500 million of physical gold, or 13 tons in a secret vault underneath his house, why he didn't sneak the gold out to Hong Kong or somewhere else. It's illegal. I have listeners to this podcast who live in mainland China, and they've cannot get their metal out. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, there is a somewhat growing crisis now. There's all these stories about this, that there's a lot of tungsten fake counterfeit gold bars in China. Okay, a lot. And they're originating from China. This is not the West sent. There's stories out from a decade ago about tungsten gold bars, and there's a misconception out that only the West makes fake gold bars. The US and Europe, it's not true. I have a number of articles out about this. So, we have an article here from Reuters that was, let's see here, it was on August, I think 28th that came out. And it's August 28th, 2019 from Reuters, Japan. Exclusive fake branded bars slip dirty gold into world markets. Reuters London, but Reuters Japan also cover this. A forgery crisis is quietly roiling the world's gold industry. Gold bars fraudulently stamped with the logos of major refineries are being inserted into the global market to launder smuggled or illegal gold, refining and banking executives tell Reuters. The fakes are hard to detect, making them an ideal fund runner for narcotics dealers or warlords. In the last 3 years, bars worth at least 50 million stamped with Swiss refinery logos, but not actually produced by those facilities, have been identified by all four of Switzerland's leading gold refineries and found in the vaults of JP Morgan, one of the major banks at the heart of the market in bullion, said senior executives at gold refineries, banks, and other industry sources that wanted to remain anonymous for the article. 4 of the executives said at least 1,000 of the bars of a standard size known as a kilo bar for their weight have been found. That is a small share of output from the gold industry, which produces roughly 2 million to 2.5 million such bars each year, but the forgeries are very sophisticated, so thousands more may have gone undetected, according to the head of Switzerland's biggest refinery. Quote, the latest fake bars are highly professionally done, said Michael Masaryk, the chief executive of refinery Valcambi. He said maybe a couple of thousand have been found, but the likelihood is that there are way, way, way more still in circulation, and it still exists and it still works. Fake gold bars, blocks of cheaper metal, normally I guess tungsten lately, or lead, plated with gold, are relatively common in the gold industry and often easy to detect. The counterfeits in these cases are subtler. The gold is real and very high purity, with only the markings faked. Fake branded bars are a relatively new way to flout global measures to block conflict minerals and prevent money laundering. Such forgeries pose a problem for international refiners, financiers, and regulators as they attempt to purge the world of illicit trade in bullion. High gold prices have triggered a boom in informal and illegal mining since the mid-2000s, especially in countries out of the dollar gold prices, because every gold price except for the dollar gold price is at or near all-time highs. Without the stamp of a prestigious refinery, such gold would be forced into underground networks or priced at a discount by pirating Swiss and other major brands. Metal that has been mined or processed in places that would not otherwise be legal or acceptable in the West, for example in parts of Africa, Venezuela, or North Korea, can be injected into the market, channeling funds to criminals or regimes that are sanctioned. It is not clear who is making the bars found so far, but executives and bankers told Reuters that they think most originate in mainland China. the world's largest gold producer and importer, and have entered the market via dealers and trading houses in Hong Kong, Japan, and Thailand. Once accepted by a mainstream gold dealer in these places, they can quickly spread into supply chains worldwide. So, they start in mainland China. And I have another story on this. Thank you to the listener who sent me this a while ago. I think, actually this story must have been updated, because I would think I was sent this a month ago, at least a month ago. This story came out on October 21st, 2019 from Caixin Global, which covers China. That's their English version by Xiao Hui and Huan Wei. So in depth, how $2.7 billion worth of fake gold tarnished local lending. This is in mainland China. In the summer of 2015, a plainly dressed farmer claiming to be Yang Jun walked into the rural credit cooperative of Tongguan County in Shaanxi province. He presented 26 shiny gold bars and applied to borrow 20 million yuan, or about $2.8 million, from the rural financial institution against the nearly 100 kilograms of precious metal. The scene surprised no one at Tongguan Co-op, which is supposed to serve rural financial needs in a county known for its rich gold reserves. Located in the junction of Shaanxi, Henan, and Shaanxi province, in northwest China, Tongguan is with about 154,200 residents, is known to have more than 110 tons of gold deposits under the Qingling Mountains. Gold mining accounts for more than 70% of Tongguan's local economy in 2005. Shortly after China removed restrictions on personal investments in gold, Tongguan Co-op, along with other local financial institutions, initiated gold-backed loans for individual borrowers. Since then, farmers carting in heaps of gold bars for loans became common in Tongguan Co-op, a local source told Caixin Global. Lenders in Tongguan and neighboring areas enthusiastically embraced the gold loan business, counting on low risk, reflecting the stable value of gold. At Tongguan Co-op, more than 83% of outstanding loans of 1.5 billion yuan as of May 2016 were backed by gold collateral. Between 2011 and 2015, the gold loan business generated 1.6 billion yuan of income for the co-op. But confidence in the seemingly secure business suddenly collapsed in 2016, putting lenders' careless handling of the booming business under the spotlight. The trigger was the 20 million loan to Yang. In April 2016, after failing to collect repayment from Yang, Tongguan Co-op decided to melt his gold bars to sell the metal for cash. But as the shiny gold on the surface melted away, dark black tungsten plate appeared underneath. Tongguan Co-op found that the bars pledged by Yang contained only 36.5% pure gold. Tongguan Co-op's problem blew the lid off China's largest gold loan fraud case. A subsequent inspection by the top banking regulator found tons of adulterated gold in 19 lenders' coffers in Shaanxi and neighboring Henan, held as collateral for 19 billion yuan of loans, including those at Tongguan Co-op. So this is $2.7 billion or 19 billion yuan. This is a massive scandal. So there is a fake gold bar scandal in mainland China too, that the gold community, I'm sure, is not covering. The alternative media is not covering it. I've never heard it before. My listener had to send me these articles. Tongguan Co-op and its parent Shaanxi Rural Credit Cooperatives Union were hit the hardest by the gold loan fraud. As of May 2016, Tongguan Co-op had 8.4 billion yuan of gold loans outstanding, involving 46 tons of fake gold. Large state lenders, including the Commercial and Industrial Bank of China, ICBC, and Postal Savings Bank of China, PBS, also found substandard gold collateral in local branches for loans totaling billions of yuan, Caixin Global learned. ICBC Bank is one of China's two largest banks. So there is a fake gold scandal in mainland China as well. And if you know about doing business with a lot of people in mainland China, there's not a high level of ethics. Okay, it's very common from a lot of people doing international business. Look at what's going on with the trade agreement, how China had agreed to a 150-page trade agreement in May, and then at the last minute they tried to remove 50 pages, everything that had to be signed and was enforceable. They wanted those 50 pages removed at the last minute. That's not exactly good faith negotiations. Okay, Tongguan and its parent Shaanxi Rural Credit Cooperatives Union were hit the hardest by the gold loan fraud. As of May 2016, they had 8.4 billion yuan of gold loans outstanding, involving 46 tons of fake gold. Large state lenders, okay, I already read that. Investigators found that most of the questionable loans flowed into 5 personal accounts controlled by Henan businessman Zhang Qingmin, a founder of gold refiner Lingbao Bullion Mining Company, and his associates. The five manufactured adulterated gold bars and the five people manufactured adulterated gold bars and hired people to apply for loans on the fake gold bars. Kaixing learned from sources close to the investigation. In the nearly 4 years since fake gold bars were found, the case has continued rattling Shaanxi's financial sector as lenders struggle to deal with huge losses. Police arrested 4 of the 5 major suspects along with dozens of accomplices, but the leading player, Zhang, is still at large. The 4 others stood trial earlier this year and are awaiting verdicts. 8 employees at Tongwang Co-op were also criminally charged. And this goes into more details of the case if you want to read it. I believe the guy, they've tracked this criminal down who was doing the fake gold bars. They've tracked him into Europe. And I think Interpol's on his trail. I think he's in Portugal. They spotted him in Portugal. So, China. China does not want to totally crash the dollar. If they crash the dollar, China's 2 largest customers for their exports are the European Union and the US. So if they crash the US, the Chinese economy is not decoupled like Peter Schiff claims. Okay, China's economy is not self-sufficient. They still have to import a lot of things, including food, a lot of raw materials. They have to import a massive amount of oil and energy. So there's a number of different reasons why China cannot do a government gold-backed cryptocurrency. Okay, Max Keiser, I think he's a smart guy. He's very funny. I respectfully 100% disagree with him on this. I 100% disagree with him on that. There are many different reasons why she endorsed blockchain technology. None of them, in my opinion, have to do with a gold-backed cryptocurrency. Or China doesn't want even a gold standard, let alone a gold-backed cryptocurrency. Okay, then China cannot, if China goes onto a gold standard, they lose all the flexibility to paper over all their RMB loans. There's their credit bubble, their real estate bubble, their credit bubble that's still growing, that's over $50 trillion in size, that has exploded in the last 10 years. If they go to a gold-backed currency, they can't bail out any of those loans. They can't paper over any of those loans. So none of these governments want a gold standard. None of these, not voluntarily, and none of these governments want a gold-backed cryptocurrency. And it is illegal for a gold bullion to leave China. So you can't have a gold standard and not allow redeemability. And redeemability means people can take the gold out of the country. So there's a lot of different reasons why China does not want a regular gold standard, let alone a government gold-backed cryptocurrency. And if they crash the dollar, they're killing a lot of their own businesses because their businesses export massive amounts to the European Union and the US. So that's why the global economy is in a dangerous situation. The gold community narrative is China's going to collapse the dollar. China's going to dump all their treasuries. China could dump all their treasuries now and it would not collapse the dollar. They've been dumping a lot of their treasuries for over a year now. They've been selling hundreds of billions of dollars in treasuries, and it has not collapsed the dollar. Russia dumped all of their U.S. treasuries, over $300 billion of their U.S. treasuries holdings in a very short amount of time, and it did not collapse the dollar. So I don't know what Max Keiser knows about China, if he knows at all if it's illegal to take gold bullion out of mainland China. I don't know if he knows that or not, but it might be wishful thinking on his part, because I know he doesn't like the U.S. But I like dealing with reality and I like dealing with facts, and it's facts that gold bullion is not legally allowed to leave mainland China. That once gold bullion comes into mainland China, it's not allowed to leave. And that China, over the last few years now, I have a number of stories. If you guys want to read them, they'll be in the information and description section, that China has a serious fake gold bar scandal now inside mainland China. The gold community is not going to cover this. I'll send you guys the articles. They'll be in the information and description section. Yes, the bankers got arrested for spoofing, which is a low level of paper price manipulation. But Chinese banks are now involved with the LBMA, the London Bullion Metals Association. They have seats there. I don't know if Peter Schiff mentioned it. Peter Schiff's been wrong on China a lot. Okay, Peter Schiff, how many years? It was, 10 years in a row that Peter Schiff has been talking. I don't know if he's still talking about this. Look, I respect Peter Schiff, but he's wrong on this analysis, especially wrong on China. I respect Peter Schiff. He's a smart guy. He woke me up when I was a regular stockbroker with Austrian School of Economics. He predicted the 2008 financial crisis, so props to him for that. But I think he's wrong on China. Basically, all of his analysis on China, I think he's wrong. He's been talking for years. I'm not sure if he's still talking about this, but he was saying for years that the Chinese economy was going to totally decouple from the U.S. without any problems. Now, China is starting to head more isolationist, or at least only dealing with emerging markets for a lot of their imports, but that's not going to go seamlessly. No, I didn't see if Peter Schiff talked about a gold-backed crypto. But I know people in the gold community have been talking about private little gold-backed cryptos, and those things have been epic failures for the last handful of years now. I won't name any names, but there's been a number of people promoting that, and they've been failures. You know, maybe I'll be, maybe those things in a couple years from now, maybe they'll catch on, but I'm not that optimistic. No, a crypto to China is the build. Crypto would not be decentralized, in my opinion. It would be a centralized database where all transactions with the government cryptocurrency, the government yuan, or what Eric Townsend from Macro Voices, he wrote a audiobook about government cryptocurrencies, what worries him, how governments will hijack the technology. It's available on his website if you want to read it, and he calls it FedCoin. And that's where government hijacks blockchain technology, uses a centralized database, and then stores every single purchase and transaction so they can track, tax, and trace every single transaction you have. So if they don't like where you spend your money, they can red flag you, and then you could get taxed more or other bad things. And that's combined, and the reason that's bad with China is China has such a draconian social credit score now. And according to my top source in mainland China, who's been going to these Chinese Communist Party or Communist Party of China rallies lately, and my source who speaks fluent Mandarin was saying that China's social credit score is going to get even worse on January 1st, 2020. Well, Max was saying that, you know, you could buy silver and crash JP Morgan. Come on, the banks were going to get the rules changed. Buying silver was not going to crash JP Morgan. I respect Max, but I respectfully disagree with this. So China wants a government cryptocurrency for nefarious purposes. If you like freedom, if you like choice, one of the main things of cryptocurrency and blockchain is decentralization, and that's not why a government wants a cryptocurrency. I have no plan for an initial coin offering Wall Street for Main Street Coin. In fact, I was getting at the height of the crypto bubble in 2007 and 2018 before it crashed. I was getting dozens of ICO review videos per day, and I took none of them. So there's a number of reasons why that this gold-backed cryptocurrency, it's BS in my opinion. He's probably speculating, maybe he's hoping that China will do that and crash the dollar. I used to watch the Keiser report a lot, and he's very anti-American, and he has a lot of guests that are very anti-US. Steve, I laid out the case. It's illegal. Okay, you can't have a gold-backed cryptocurrency with redeemability when it's illegal to take gold bullion out of China. And why would China want to limit the amount of cryptocurrency that they could create with gold backing when they're going to need to paper over their credit bubble? Okay, China, the People's Bank of China can't deal with the dollar-denominated debt. They can't print that over. Paper that over, print that over, but they can print away or bail out all the RMB debt. Chinese dollar is definitely not gold-backed. Can't have that type of misinformation spreading around here in the live chat. Probably one of the paid trolls by the Chinese government to monitor my YouTube channel now. Okay, well, I think that's it for this short little update. So there's a number of different reasons why I think Max Keiser is wrong. This video is not going to get the 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000 or more views that he's getting with that prediction, but I'm trying to focus on reality and analysis of facts here. And the facts are illegal to take physical gold bullion out of mainland China. You can't have a gold standard, a regular gold standard, if you don't allow redeemability. If foreigners who are using your currency can't redeem physical metal and take it out of the country, you can't have a gold standard. It's that simple. So then doing a gold-backed, government gold-backed cryptocurrency doesn't mean anything. Which they wouldn't do anyway. China is accumulating a massive amount of gold, but they're not doing it for a gold standard. I've talked about this many, many times. China is accumulating physical gold for different reasons. China does not want a gold standard. You cannot do the credit bubble that China's hyperinflating their currency. Okay, the amount of base currency unit that China's creating is insane. They're creating currency units faster than anyone else. They're creating credit faster than anyone else. They're even doing repo too. I covered this in the show yesterday. China's doing repo. No one else talks about this. They've been doing emergency liquidity repo injections. They were started in January 2019. They increased a lot by May 2019 with Baoshang Bank. I believe they've started a spike again. They're up to like $35 billion per day, give or take. So China's doing repo too. Now, the repo is much smaller than the US, but it's still a warning sign. So I'm getting all these messages, all these comments about like China's going to do this with gold-backed government gold-backed cryptocurrency. Take a look at this video. I'm not going to respond to all your comments here. I'm going to do this so I can make a little bit of money and help my Patreon account contributors who are paying for my content so I can earn a living. Well, my Google AdWords revenues too are helping with that, although they're falling like a rock now. So, thank you to my over 180 Patreon account contributors, my dozen or so monthly PayPal account contributors, and people chip in once in a while. It's much appreciated. You will get links to all those fake gold bars in China stories. There will be links in the information and description section. Look, I respect Max Keiser, but he's like totally wrong on this. Like totally wrong. He might be wishfully thinking that this will happen, but China doesn't want this. China is going to a government cryptocurrency for nefarious purposes, for even more control. To track, tax, and trace every transaction. Based in China, who is a podcast listener here to this channel in mainland China, says this is a money-raising venture by China. Do not trust their branding. Do not buy Chinese crypto. It will be centralized, which defeats the whole purpose. Yes, and China going to a government cryptocurrency is there's draconian, nefarious, totalitarian government reasons why. Anthony says, isn't it true that there's way less physical silver than physical gold mined? No, that's inaccurate, Anthony. There is 9 times as much physical silver as physical gold mined each year. However, there is more above ground physical gold than physical silver because gold is not wasted. Gold is recycled. Even tiny amounts of gold are recycled out of electronics, dental fillings, other stuff. Silver is not as efficiently recycled. There is a lot more above ground gold because it is worth more and it is used efficiently and recycled. There is less above ground silver. But silver is coming out of the ground faster because from a geology perspective, there is more, the geology ratio, which I don't know if we'll ever get down to there for 9-to-1 gold to silver ratio, but the geology ratio is about 9 or 10-to-1 in the Earth's crust, ounces of silver for every ounce of gold. I've given no reason why they won't let it leave the country. The Chinese government made it illegal. That's why. Whatever the Chinese government says, that's a law. Do you know anything about the Chinese government and how draconian it is? You're going to get a timeout for that. If the Chinese... First of all, the Chinese government guns are banned. So... Jim Rickards has talked about this, where it's very difficult to transport physical gold, large amounts of gold bars and stuff throughout mainland China because of safety issues, because you can't hire the normal like Brinks truck or armed guards. You can't have security guards with bulletproof vests and guns and armored trucks transport physical gold in mainland China. I criticize all governments. You must be new to my channel. Andrew says, crypto is created to get us all comfortable and excited about digital money, the final nail in the coffin for freedom. You may be right about that, Andrew. It seems China's going to be first to test that thesis. Guys like, you haven't said anything. This troll's like, you haven't said anything about why China, it's illegal to remove China, because it's a law in China. You can't take it out. If a government has a law, especially in China, and you break the law, you're risking a lot. A lot of people are scared in China to break the law. About certain things. Stalemate says China is the land of fake items, fake drugs, fake watches, fake gold, also fake baby milk and other products. Yeah, there's been a lot of scandals. China's going to a centralized government cryptocurrency. Why would they go back it? They have a credit bubble. They have to pay. China has a credit bubble. They have to paper over the credit bubble. They have to print RMB to deal with that. If they go to a gold-backed cryptocurrency, how are they going to do bailouts for all their RMB debt that can't be paid? Okay, well, that's it for right now with this update. The articles that I discussed, that I read part of, will be in the information and description section. Yes, I was right on Sandstorm Gold, but it wasn't that hard because they were growing revenues and they were growing cash flow. And they also have a really high net profit margin. Their net profit margin was 24% net profit margins in the last quarter that they just announced. Okay, guys, well, that's it for right now. I was planning on doing another show today instead. I was planning on doing a lecture on mining stock education and maintenance capex, or maintenance capital expenditures, but I decided to do that since I'm getting all these comments. about this government cryptocurrency gold-backed. It would not be in China's interest to do this because China needs the flexibility to paper over. I'm not in favor of this, but governments are doing this anyway. They're going to paper over all their RMB debt that's going bad. So why would they go to a government cryptocurrency? They need to print more money. They need to create more credit. There's these talking heads going on CNBC and late night on CNBC, like really, really late here in the East Coast in the US, like for when European markets open and Asian markets open, talking about how China's what's the right phrase here? China is reducing their debt. That's not true. They're not reducing their debt. They temporarily tried to reduce their credit bubble, and it's back growing again. Their credit bubble is well over $50 trillion in only 10 years, according to Kyle Bass and others. Over 300% debt to GDP ratio, too.